What is up, everyone? My name is Starkers101 and today we are back with Pika. This is season 3 of the Pika. This is week 1. A while ago I uploaded my my team analysis video. If you haven't seen that one and you're interested in what all the things I drafted, even though you can see a good chunk of them right now on your screen, then you should really go and check it out. Link will be in the description below. This week is week 1 and we're playing as LA Slowkings. I've organized a thing that was called Inter Pika because the time between Pika 2 and 3 took me way too long, or at least I thought it was way too long. So I organized a league that was in between that because we had like a 12-week break or something, and so I decided to organize that. And I faced the LA Slowkings and they had a Torrentini back then, and then that thing absolutely destroyed me, so I lost that game. So this time around we are going to try and make a comeback, or I'm just gonna make a comeback. I don't try, I do things from now on, really. I just came up with that in my head. But looking at their team, they have a Mega Gardevoir, they have an Excadrill, Staraptor, Dragalogy, Mienshao, Typhlosion, Lantern, Gourgeist, Weavile, Shuckle, and Scrafty. Which sounds scary, which is really scary, but taking a closer look at it, they have absolutely no bulk. Their bulk consists of Lantern, Gourgeist, and Shuckle. That's it. And their offensive checks, their offensive presence, I feel like I have checks for those. So when I started prepping, I started making Calyx, etc. The only thing I didn't really have anything for was Weavile, so I started off with this. I started off with Defensive Infernape with enough speed investment to outspeed max 100, which is Gardevoir and which is Staraptor. So as long as Staraptor isn't Scarf, then this thing gets outsped by Infernape, and he's probably gonna bring Mega Gardevoir because Mega Gardevoir is a good matchup against every team ever because it destroys 80% of that team, or at least 80% of that team. So I can get off before sacking a thing or switching out into one of my checks. I can have a good head with the Fire Punch, Iron Fist, Iron Punch. So that's why I went with this amount of speed that I went with, 240 HP, and then I went with 76 in defense. Mach Punch just to get off a good head, and maybe Weavile, because as soon as he'd figure out that I'm a defensive Infernape, maybe he doesn't think I have Mach Punch, so I can catch him all by surprise, and maybe he is Scarf Staraptor, and if I get up my Stealth Frogs, that would be great. And then I can get off a nice chunk with the Mach Punch off on that thing. Looking at his team versus my team, Staraptor is the biggest problem he has for me. And the only thing, well, I calced it, right? I'm gonna pull up the calc right here. You can't see everything, but what this means is that even max HP, max defense Hippo cannot take Jolly, Bandits, Staraptors, Brave Bird, or Double Edge. What I decided to do against that, because it almost kills itself, especially with Rock Sub, with Recoil, if it does that, I decided to go with Citrus Berry Powdon, because that's the only way I can guaranteed, barring that he doesn't get a crit, I can guaranteed live 2 Brave Birds or Double Edges. If he's banded, that is. So this is my only check to that. So it's Earthquake, Stone Edge, Slack Off, Roar, Powdon, and I figured that he may try and speed creep this Powdon with his Dragalogy, so I decided to go with 40 speed EVs. I always put random numbers in speed so no one can really predict me. One time it's 4 and the other time it's like 56 or something, or maybe even more. But so Hippo walls a large portion of his team, being his Excadrill, being his Staraptor, being his Mienshao. So I needed something that could wall his Mega Gardevoir that does reasonably well against the other Mons. And so I decided to go with Bronzong. He also is my Stealth Rock setter. He doesn't really have good house removal apart from Excadrill, but then I get immediate pressure with the Powdon. He doesn't have many things that like taking hits from Powdon apart from Gourgeist, but I don't think he'll bring that. Or then I have a safe switch to my Hydreigon. But what this team does is that it doesn't have a lot of bulk, so things that are outspeeded are really good. So I decided to go with a very fast team. So I went with Hippo, which is Sandstream, and then I went with Stoutland, which is my tier 5 pick. This amount of speed investment allows me to outspeed Scarf Mienshao, and he barely has switch. As long as I predict correctly with Stoutland, he cannot He cannot beat me. Return guaranteed KO on Gardevoir. Crunch is there for Gurgeist. Superpower is there for Excadrill, and then we have Pursuit just because some certain things may get weakened, or Weavile is just there to trap specific mons if I want to. Then we have Crobat, because Crobat outspeeds the roll on his team. This specific EV spread is to outspeed his Weavile. This is also a good check against the Mienshao. That's what I'm mainly going to be switching it into. And I was really fearing Shuckle, and that's why I have Ton and Infernape, and I'm going to lead off with Infernape because it's my anti-lead as soon as I see Shuckle on there. I'm going to do that. What we can do is just U-turn out Brave Bird. And as soon as he gets up to Sticky Web or Stealth Frogs, Sticky Web and Stealth Frogs, then I can just defog them away because Crobat is not inflicted by the Sticky Web and it speeds everything on his team. So that's obviously really good. And then I have a late game cleaner because I felt really safe using this thing because he doesn't have a lot of switch-ins for Scarf Dark Pulse, and if he does that, then he doesn't really have a lot of switch-ins for Scarf Draco Meteor either. So this specific set outspeeds everything barring the Scarf mons that it wouldn't outspeed already, being Typhlosion, Staraptor. So if he decides to bring Scarf Excadrill, this mon is specifically designed to outspeed Scarf Excadrill. Flash Cannon is there for Mega Gardevoir. Dark Pulse is there just to hit everything for big damage, and Draco is the exact same thing. So, without any further ado, this is going to be that part of the video, and now we're just going to go into the replay. So this is the team he decided to bring, and suddenly my face is there. This is the team he decided to bring, and the big threats are there, which is the Staraptor, the Mega Gardevoir, the Weavile, and Lantern actually is the threat to the specific team I brought. I mean, I have a Shaman, which Lantern cannot do anything against, but I didn't decide to bring that. So we saw Shuckle, and what I decided to do is just lead with Infernape because I don't want this guy to get up Sticky Web, so I will taunt him. But he leads with his Weavile, and he goes straight for Fake Out, seeing that I am a Leftovers variant, right? So he knows that I have Leftovers. But he decides to knock off, and I don't know why, because he knows as soon as you see Leftovers, you know that this is Bulk Infernape. And now I realize, wait, apparently you can't do anything to me. So on a switch to something else, or his sack, I decided, you know what, I can just go for his Slack Off. I would be at full even after he hit me with another knockoff and I could kill him with a Mach Punch. But now I decided to go into Bronzong because that is literally my only switch into this Lantern. Lantern is the biggest problem to this specific team, but I decided to get up Stealth Frogs because he doesn't have any way to get rid of them. And it really pressures his team, makes actually sure of that his Weavile is going to die, and he can get out of a Toxic on this Lantern. As long as it isn't Heal Bell, I'm in a very good position already. So what I decide to do, he doubles out because he knows that he's probably going to lose this war. He goes into his Scarf Mienshao, which turns out to be a Regenerator, and I just go for an Earthquake because that does massive damage to the Lantern, which isn't doing that much to me anyway. So, going to my Bat, because Bat is the counter to this thing, and he just U-turns on out. I mean, that's fine. I outspeed everything on his team, barring Scarf Staraptor right now. And I do suspect that is Scarf Mienshao, as will be later revealed in the game. So he goes into his Lantern, which is his check. We see Leftovers, so I'm free to just U-turn on out and go back into my Bronzong. Another play I could make is just go more offensive switch and go out into Hydreigon, which is exactly what I do. Sorry, I thought I went Bronzong again, but I didn't want Bronzong to get burned and get whittled because Mega Gardevoir is still there. So I go into Hydreigon. I mean, since this thing is toxic, I'm probably going to win this, so what I can do right here is just fire off a safe Dark Pulse. Being Scarf, I'd speed everything, I just get off a free hit on something. But he makes a good play, and he decides to sack his Weavile on my incoming Dark Pulse. I do think I clicked Dark Pulse, there we go. I did click Dark Pulse, and what he's going to do right now is go into his Sexy Lady. I cannot kill this thing at all, but I do have a good check to this thing, being my Bronzong. This Bronzong is max HP, max def, so I'm not too worried about this team in general. So he goes for a Focus Blast, probably his best move to hit me with, and I just go for a Gyro Ball because I'm not playing around. I'm not playing around with this thing because this thing is legitimately a threat. And we are in such a glorious position right now because his Lantern is weakened. His Lantern is at about half, I'd like to say. As soon as I get in my Hippo right now and I get in my Stoutland for free with enough Sand Turns, and I need a bit of chip on the Shuckle, this game's over. this game is over. So immediately switch of win cons. That is going to be definitely Stoutland. So Bronzong had done his duty, and I figured, you know what, if you want to just kill me right here, that's fine. I'm just gonna stay in with Bronzong and just try and gyro ball you because. But he actually makes a better play. Goes in a Shuckle. I got a Toxic, and now he does what I didn't want to happen. He goes his Sticky Web. So now Stoutland is not faster than his Scarfy and Chow, and that's just kind of annoying. But I just go into Infernape because Infernape has done his job already as well. It killed the Weavile, and it can't really do that much against his team anyway, especially with the -1 speed. But he goes for an Infestation. I went for a Taunt because I didn't want this guy to set up even more. I don't know what it would do. Maybe spread Toxic, or maybe just Rest. I'm not sure. Maybe this was a Rest set. Could be a thing, okay? But Infernape is just gonna stay in, click Fire Punch until the Shuckle goes down, and at this point he just goes out into Staraptor, and I figure I make a bad play right here, because what I should have done is, because I told you in the team analysis that this Infernape, no, never mind, I have Sticky Whip up, so I had to Mach Punch right here. I didn't make a bad play, it's fine. So I go for Mach Punch, and now he U-turns out, predicting a specific switch, maybe into my Powdown or something, I'm not sure. But that brings him in range of Stealth Frog, so we also got rid of Staraptor. And now I figure, well, Infernape has done more than I wanted it to do, so I can just sack this thing. Maybe it's like Bandit and decide to kill Hippowdon. Maybe he'll predict a switch in a Crobat and Stone Edge. So I decided to stay in with my Infernape, just sack it off. There's no reason not to do that, and I can just come in with Hippo and click Earthquake and win. Hippo kills that thing. Hippo can take an high jump kick. He crits me, unfortunately, but my Citrus Berry activates, so even if he crits me again, then that will happen. But what I'm just going to do now is make an unnecessary play, but I just felt like switching in Crobat because this thing was definitely Scarf. Judging from that damage on my Hippo, and Crobat takes it like a champion. Kill goes to Hippowdon because I killed him with Sandstorm, and this kill goes to Bronzong because I killed him with Stealth Rocks, and that's going to be the 5-0 in my favor. I didn't really got to utilize Scarf Hydreigon, didn't really get to utilize Stoutland and Sand, but the walls I brought walled his entire team, and they all pack some offensive pressure. I mean, I brought Defensive Infernape, which has offensive pressure. Bronzong got 3 kills this game, 1 on the Weavile because of Stealth Rocks, 1 on the Staraptor because of Stealth Rocks, and then the third one was on Gardevoir. So Bronzong killed 3 of his members. Infernape had offensive pressure, Crobat had offensive pressure, and then Hippo had offensive pressure as well. So that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye.